Combination of body parts. The perfect head, dog length, dog line, and nice tail and other body parts combination together won't be always produce a beautiful image of the dog, even if these parts are assembled in the right order. The impression of the dog is generalized, and the grooming presentation of every part should be done in consideration of each other. There are two approaches to make the appearance of the dog as whole a piece of art: complementation and compensation. Complementation implies that each part is perfect shape so as complement all others in the overall plan for the entire body. For instance, even if the impression of the certain well-coated breed depends on a massive head, of groomers should keep in mind that the size of the head is not a separate parameter but a relative to other parts of the body. Enlarging the head visually could be achieved by more hair on the head and by less hair on the body, and even better through a combination of both. Compensation is a method of visual correction of the dog's appearance during grooming by shifting the focus from one piece to another. For example, if a certain dog has a great head but its back has some defects, the groomer has to use hairstyling to redirect the eyes of viewers from back to the front. And additionally, another way to improve dog appearance, other than compensating for the part of there are too small, ears, tails, skull, etc., by making the hair on the parts longer while simultaneously reducing the size of coat around such parts. Compensation is mostly a way of shifting focus, and it's a very powerful method for regular dogs, but not for show dogs. Sometimes nice accessories like bows and bandanas and the color can change the image significantly. Of course, such methods are less applicable for dog shows, so some degree they would work there as well. Proper show leads, hair clips, even the handler's outfit can influence the dog appearance in the ring. For instance, black Pomeranians look better if the handler wears light-colored trousers rather than dark one. I remember there was a black Russian Terrier whose name starts with K. Actually, K was a rather poor representative of his breed. It's only as one of the first black Russian Terriers in the US and that has deserved some attention. In more black Russian Terriers populated pals, he would never be considered a show dog. But even here, a lot of work has to be done to prepare him for the show competition. Despite his owner's ambition, Kay hadn't won a single competition before coming to our salon. His anatomy has several severe defects. The head was too short, the short neck, low shoulders, crooked crops, straightened back legs, narrow ankles, etc. We saw these defects as soon as he stepped inside. The first thing we did was analyze how this dog would be judged at the show. We cut his cheek hair as short as we could and save as much hair on the back of the head as possible. The head started to look a bit longer. It was very difficult to find the proper hair length for the K's neck, because making an impression of a longer neck will shorten the head and vice versa. K needed both effects. We also had a difficult task of choosing proper size of K's shoulders. Too high the shoulder shortened his neck, and low ones would make him look less muscular. Another problem, we had to make K more rectangular and taller, so we had to cut as much hair as possible on his front, at the same time save some accentuate his powerful chest. shortening him from the behind by cutting hair on his butt. As the balance of proportions shifted and the rear has less hair, the facts in his hind legs stood out more. The back legs also gave us some sort of difficulties. Kay's back legs were almost completely straight, like a pair of sticks, which is very bad for the breed appearance. The solution was to cut as much hair on his pelvis as possible and to save almost all length of hair on his hocks. Another thing, the paws. I realized that his paws were at the wrong angle to one another, both front and toes out. If we trimmed the hair around paws symmetrically, the facts became obvious. To hide it, we shifted the axe of the cut around his paws to align their ovals with line of the spine, picture 13a. Kay had too short of the tail and we left the maximum amount of hair possible on it. But we had to make the hair frame on the tail asymmetrical as well as hide its overly low connection with the butt. When all these corrections were done, Kay won many shows. Of course, judges saw Kay's defects, but because of the nice general presentation, they often forgave that. After a while, Kay's owner began to think that this success was earned by the dog, and the times Kay lost were our fault. He left our salon for someone else, who cut exactly as the standards require, but Kay never won again. The losing streak was caused not by adjusting the hair to the individual dog. As a proud and ambitious man, Kay owner never ended discuss Kay defects with the groomer, and as a result, Kay never was as nice as he was in our hands. Another thing that is very important for general impression of the dog is the animal movement. On the groomer's table, we see the dog stand still, but after the dog leaves the salon is mostly in movement. The hair that frames its head, body and legs will wave in the breeze, and the hair from other locations. Special shampoos, conditioners, and sprays are used for keeping the desirable shape while in motion. But sometimes individualized haircut may be necessary. We call the dog movement the greatest contributor to its image.